Hello, welcome back to Music is My Mantra. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. Last night I was sitting and I was like, what do I need to share with the world? One thing I've realized when I am working with students who are just learning how to sing is that they might have a good ear for latching on to the melody, but not everybody has practice in like hearing where the harmonies are and singing the harmonies. And that singing traditional church music really helped with finding those harmonies because, I grew up with like the book of music and singing along with like my mom and my grandma. And even if I wasn't so interested in sitting through service, I just always loved singing with them. It's just like a trio with harmonies. And I love harmonies. And fun fact, harmonies are a really amazing way of like regulating your nervous system with the people that you're singing with. When you're just starting out, it can be really hard to sing your own part because you have to have so much confidence in yourself that you're going to hit the notes. And that just takes practice. And I think that so many people are so afraid to sing because they expect to be as amazing as any person that goes on to American Idol. But the truth is that American Idol is curated, and most people who get on that show have years of experience and a story. It's all about the drama, the reality TV. That's not a good benchmark, or The Voice. Like, this is generically speaking to all of those shows. There's just so many different types of voices. I gave a voice lesson last week and this story came up because I think it's still so important. This is like a metaphor. Like, singing is a metaphor for how we live in the world of life. So this student had made so much progress. They had trouble sort of finding the right pitch, but we worked on it and their voice got stronger. The more that you sing, it's a muscle. So you can work on the airflow, the projection, the tone, all of these things, but matching pitch is really important. I was so proud of this person, but they had somebody that they loved tell them basically that they weren't a good singer when they gave their first performance. And it like broke my heart because of course they're going to listen to this person, but it was a harmless joke and it really impacted their desire to want to keep going and to keep working on it. Every time that you're trying something new and you're learning how to sing alone, it's like the first time that you go out to dinner by yourself. Like, I go out to eat all the time by myself, and sure, I would love some company sometimes, but it's not weird to me. Whereas I know some people really have a hard time like sitting by themselves in a community setting like that. Maybe it's uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, the stronger of a person that you become. And the more that you practice singing harmonies or improv and holding your own melody, the stronger and more confident you get in your own voice. I was also reminded of this concept yesterday. I went on a walk with my girlfriend and, we were talking about marketing and putting up websites. And I was like, it's so easy, like just do it yourself. And I have to remember, like, it's not easy for everyone because I've been making websites since I can remember. I had a WordPress like 12 years ago. And then after that, I had a Wix site and then Squarespace. And I've used like Shopify and all these different platforms for myself and for other clients that I've had over the years. So for me, like, navigating the back end of web provider is super easy. And I don't code. I've just seen a lot of how they work. A lot of it is like asking questions and Google search to figure it out. But that's kind of like the world we're living in today. It's like there's always a learning curve to something that you want to do, like learning how to build a website. Sure, maybe it's not going to look like you imagined it when you first do it. The more that you try these things, the easier these things are going to get. This is the word of encouragement for today, is that trying new things is hard and scary, but the more that you try new things and you sort of step out of your comfort zone or you push your edges of comfort, that's where you get confidence. I remember during 2020, we had this outdoor concert series called We Are Everyday Sunshine. This was like, I'd been performing for several years up until that point. I think it had been 4 years of playing my own music and playing with bands, but I still got nervous, especially when I would play other people's songs. It was never really nerve-wracking to play my own songs because I knew them, like I wrote them. But to perform other people's songs, I just feel like there's so many layers to it. You have to get, first of all, the basics, right? The words and the chords right to just hold the song, and the rhythm and the melody. But aside from that, there's like a whole realm of emotion and storytelling that goes into performing somebody else's song. Some songs I like naturally relate to, and of course I would always choose covers that I loved, but after playing them for a while, it's like, do I love them because I actually can connect to the storyline and the emotional performance that comes with it? Or do I just love it because it's popular and it's easy to play and it's fun to sing? You know, like those little elements will make the performance so different. When you're playing cover songs, you really want to make the song your own, because otherwise you're just another person playing the same song that you've heard, and people are always going to compare you to the original artist. So whether that's like changing up the key to fit your voice, or maybe adding a little bit of like switching up the style from the original way that the song was produced. That's like probably the easiest way to make it your own. There's a lot of tricks to it. Performing originals was so easy, and I just did me, you know? And then as I was working with my mentor, Chris Kapika, I learned more about how to bring like vocal warm-ups into the performance and do all these things so that like I could kind of take away those nerves. But part of it was really just like getting used to playing covers and getting used to the idea that it sounded good. Like I was being super harsh and critical, you know, because that's who I am. I think as an artist, it's okay to be critical. There's a line, like you still have to put stuff out there. Word of advice, like, you know, Mel Robbins has a lot of different podcasts on confidence, and she's a great speaker. Her podcast is awesome. But she says the definition of confidence is the willingness to try something new. Whether you are just starting to sing, or you're just learning to play an instrument, or you just want to feel better and you're like, how can I use more of music and like singing in my body and wellness to make me feel better? Like, it's gonna be uncomfortable at first. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be awkward, especially singing in front of people. Like, I remember I sang at our 8th grade graduation. I was so nervous. Like, luckily I practiced enough that you couldn't really tell. I remember we did like a practice round of singing for students, and I was shaking, and my voice, like my mouth would always get so dry. And then it's like you for sure can't sing because your mouth is dry. So it's like, you just like literally can't. I mean, sweating and like dry mouth and just so uncomfortable to be seen. But the more that I practiced and the more that I did it in front of people, like it slowly got easier and easier, and I just felt more confident in myself. Just to reiterate that any kind of wellness or any kind of music is like, it's awkward at first. This new album, after thinking through all of these different genres, I'm going to really kind of come back to the drawing board and give myself permission to sit down and think about what I love from these songs, you know? Like, I want this album to be a little bit more upbeat and dancey. I think it's there, but I've really, in the demos, it's going in like a very much like one dimension rock feel. That wasn't my intention initially. Maybe this is the thing that I've been like waiting for. Even doing yoga, you know, there's certain poses that are so uncomfortable, and then after a while, all of a sudden it's easy one day. I've been really fortunate that I've always been an athlete my whole life. So, you know, the first time I did yoga was in high school, and I was running cross country and I was pretty flexible. But after my sciatica adventure, I couldn't even do a forward fold. I've always been able to touch my toes, and I couldn't even bend over halfway. So, you know, everything comes back to grace and just trying and letting go of that like harsh critic until you reach a certain level, and then you kind of have to bring it back a little bit, bring it back and be like, you know, I could do better, or like, maybe I did hear something that was a little bit off, or what I'm hearing isn't quite there yet. So like, how can I find other inspiration to bring in to add to the project that I'm working on? Being here in LA, like I see everything amplified because having friends that are healers and work with energy, you can go see a Kambo practitioner or like do a past life regression or breath work or yoga or sound healing. There's so many options, and I think that the thing is you just have to choose one and start somewhere. I encourage you, if you're having a hard time like knowing where to start with music or healing, is just to choose something. And when I was just starting out after college, I was given this advice. We're so afraid of messing up, or that like what we do with our life won't match what we did in college, like what we studied in school. But I studied retailing and consumer science and marketing, and now I'm doing marketing. So it all kind of came full circle. In the journey of figuring out what I was meant to do, like I have probably had 17 different jobs in the past 15 years or more, like catering, babysitting, bartending, hostessing, waitressing, bussing tables, nannying. I worked at a tech agency. I worked at a marketing agency. I ran a community art space. I was a project manager for Tom's and then for Skechers. And then I have had like many different clients in the spectrum of marketing, digital marketing mostly. I feel so grateful that I have something stable now when it comes to work, so I can pursue my music. You have to start somewhere. Once you know where your starting point is, like it's easier to go out and try different things. If you've been curious about music and how it can help you to feel better, just start somewhere. If you're noticing that you keep playing the same song or the same album over and over again, that's okay. If you're enjoying it, go for it. But if you're realizing that maybe you're feeling a little stuck, maybe try listening to a new record and see what that brings you. If you took away any nuggets of wisdom or even just felt entertained, please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And if you're listening on any podcast platform, you can also save my channel. You can subscribe, share this episode. You can leave a review. I don't know if I have any reviews yet, but please leave me a review. Tell me what you liked. You can email me, DM me, tell me what you want to hear. I'm so excited. I've reached out to my very first guest and she'll be on the show soon. So coming up, I'll probably do at least 2 guests a month. That will sort of inform the rest of how the year will unfold. So thank you for listening. Until next time, I hope you stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. If you don't feel any of those things today, don't worry. Music is here to help you with your wellness. So God bless. Bye.